Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the $127 podcast, the only podcast that was in the Amazon with your mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
Spider
And
people.
Oh, I finally got
um,
that. I was thinking
wow,
Amazon.
that gave me like a brain aneurysm for a second. Hold on a second. My name's Jeff, and I'm joined by my fellow superhero people.
Yule.
I'm Dominic. Play Marvel Snap.
We're not doing that. Please cut that.
What?
Alex, you gonna introduce yourself?
Yeah, the name's Will. Just moved in with my aunt and uncle, in Beverly Hills,
Today
and
with the release of the new Deadpool 3 trailer and how people are seemingly feeling different things on the internet, and the
The
current
Gunverse.
theater release of Madam Web, now in theaters. Go get your tickets now.
No, don't go see
And
Madam Web.
no.
I'm
Save
really
yourself.
debating going to see that.
yes,
You're the reason we have this, you are.
and the
That's why I
questions
want
the
to go see it.
questions upon James Gunn's new Gunverse, as it's being called, for the DC. We decided to talk about superhero fatigue and if it can be cured. Because
That was a real.
Wow.
a lot of
What happened?
what, where are we going now?
All right, so let's.
Go
I
Web,
feel
go!
like no, I feel like it's. I mean, it's kind of easy to jump into it because, like, to me, we did the Deadpool reacts, and watching that trailer, I was like, oh shit! If they could make this like really cool, I kind of would like to see a return to form, like maybe a second renaissance or like a last dying breath of the superhero genre before like they finally throw it out. I don't know though because we haven't looked at the numbers yet, but I didn't think it was like as profitable as it used to be. And I'm curious now if like this machine of we've got an existing IP and an existing audience. Can we just kind of scrap some shit together and bring together a fan base and just abuse this till the end of time? Because I feel like that train is starting to run out of gas. So for me, like Deadpool was like kind of revving me back up. But I know we talked, I think after that react, and we were saying the last thing we watched. And yeah, I had to confirm that it was indeed. I didn't even see. No, I did see Shang-Chi. I think Shang-Chi was the last Marvel thing I saw. After that, I've just been like,
You didn't see Guardians 3?
nope, I have not seen Guardians 3. It's like one of those things. Like, Guardians is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm going to go watch it, and then something else will happen. Yeah, I'm going to go watch it, and then something else will happen. I think, like, I didn't see Guardians 2 until, like, 2 years after it had come out. So,
I don't know where I saw, but I think like the Deadpool 3 trailers, like the one of the most viewed like
Yeah,
really?
the most
videos.
viewed trailer or something like that.
On
Yeah,
YouTube?
on
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, it's
Wow.
got
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, but I've watched a lot of videos talking about Deadpool 3 and like the how they felt about the trailer itself, and a lot of people shared our feelings on it, or at least a lot of the people that I watched shared their feelings how it was like, yeah, it was kind of an underwhelming trailer. Even if you look at the set pieces in the background, like everything is very kind of underwhelming, and you have this like sense of I have no clue if Disney's going to be able to pull it off. Like Disney knows that. Well, I mean, pulling up the numbers of all the movies from Fox, Deadpool 1 and 2 were the highest grossing films out of their entire run.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
the Nothing even came close within $100 million except for X-Men: Days of Future Past,
Which
and
was a good one.
well, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, and like even Logan only got 600 million for that,
Yeah.
which is wild. So
Yeah.
like Disney knows that it has to be untouched by them, I guess, because their formula works. But I don't think that they're gonna just let them run wild. So I feel like it's gonna be really tamed down.
But see, like that's what I was talking about in the React, where it was kind of like, okay, there's these two opposing forces. Ryan Reynolds really wants to keep it like Deadpool, but the Fox version that he had that vision of, and Disney needs to find a way to put this into that Marvel mold where they can cut, copy, paste, and make some more of this along the way. And so I feel like those two heads bashing, it's just going to give you this really weird and contrived output of like these are two different ideas that they couldn't make a decision on. It's either you're going to go all Disney and piss everybody off that was used to Deadpool 1 and 2, or you're going to go full Ryan Reynolds and Disney's going to be squirmish about it, and it might not produce as well as they would hope, or it won't be as repeatable as they would hope to. And I think that's like the. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I feel like learning from DC and Black Adam, they shouldn't go full Ryan Reynolds, like let him have as much of a creative control, because like, you know, The Rock was very much like, we're gonna do things my way. I'm gonna fight Superman. Very like iron grip of like how he wanted the movie to be, and it like was a big flop. And so, you know, as much as we love Ryan Reynolds just being Deadpool, I feel like they shouldn't go like all in on Deadpool, because as it is just serving as a way, I think, to just plop Deadpool over into the MCU. Maybe after like Deadpool and Wolverine, like then they'll just kind of be like, all right, like Deadpool 3 was successful, like what did you want to do, and then let him kind of do whatever. Because this is like, you know, this is the bridge between like the Fox and the MCU now. And so granted, the trailer only showed like specific scenes of like him in the TVA, and then him fighting in like the forest, and then fighting in that like meta franchise like wasteland. So it's like, who knows what we would see in the next trailer. But like, I understand why it's kind of like, oh man, like Disney's already pulling the reins, but at the same time it's like we still haven't really seen like what else will happen.
That's true.
I think the only difference with that is that Ryan Reynolds has already done this twice before, and The Rock
That was
didn't do Black
That was
Adam
his
at all.
one.
That was his
But
one.
didn't he have more like writing control in the second one after the first one?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I thought he didn't have as much writing credits on Deadpool 1 as he did in 2.
let me back you up there.
Yeah, look that up. I'm curious.
Do you think though he would let it? I don't know. I just feel like he's just one of those actors that would just back out if he doesn't jive with it.
I think he even made like a statement, kind of like that.
Yeah. So I feel like whatever we're getting is like approved by him,
Like the
But
best
didn't
we're
they-
gonna get.
and of course approved by Disney as well.
Didn't he butt heads with the Deadpool 2 director, Tim Miller? No, that wasn't him. Was it? Didn't he butt heads with the director, and then like the director left because they're like, we're gonna keep Ryan on, you know.
Yeah,
For
but I'm
the
just saying, like,
second one?
I mean,
I think so. I
there's
think I
no
remember
butting
that.
heads with Disney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
out.
It's either you're gonna get made or you're gonna get canned.
yeah.
But I don't know.
I
I just feel like he's just one of those actors that like he just really cares about whatever he's doing. I mean, it's not always good. He's in a lot of shit movies. He's just doing all these shitty kids movies where he's just fucking flying to like the
Hey,
future.
Hey,
Man's gotta
hey.
eat though.
He's just
that-
doing all these dumb little comedies.
That time travel one was actually pretty good.
Nah,
The Netflix one.
Did you watch it,
see
Alejandro?
he's in a genre. He's in a genre
Did you
right now.
watch
It's
it?
just a weird.
Did you watch it?
You know what
That's
his movies come out on Christmas.
He didn't watch it.
So
Okay,
him
to
standing
answer-
on his ground, no, but I just feel like he definitely would not be in this if he didn't vibe with it at all.
Yeah.
That's valid. Because I do know he had a really soft spot for it going into the first one. He did produce the first one, but he wrote and produced the second one. I mean, like, there was still a team.
Yeah.
Reese, Paul Wernick were the original writers for the first film. And then they were reprised, and then Ryan Reynolds came on as a writer for Deadpool 2.
Got it.
He's always been protective of Deadpool, even like
Before Deadpool.
even in X-Men Origins Wolverine, he was like,
Yeah.
this is not what Deadpool is supposed to be, and you guys are ruining it. So like, I feel like he's, you know, as protective of Deadpool just because he grew up reading it and loved it. But I feel like, yeah, he's gonna comply if he wants to get more Deadpool stuff made.
I feel like right now, I think what's affecting a lot of people, apart from just a lot of these movies, is just like real life. So like everything costs way more. So I think people are being more picky and choosy with what they're spending. I know that's a big factor for me as well. It's like, I don't really care about it. So do I really want to drop like $15 to go watch this? And then, I mean, I know myself, I'm going to get like one item at least, which is like another $10 versus, I mean, popcorn and stuff has always been expensive, but like the ticket, no. But like everything else outside of the movie theater now is like super expensive. So I just know a lot of people are picky and choosy for that reason as well. Like, why am I going to go spend this money when I can blow it on something else?
Well,
Yeah.
For me specifically, it's mainly about the story of it. I mean, granted, I didn't watch those first few Marvel films in theaters. The Iron Man, Thor, Captain America.
Really?
Like those ones I kind of just skipped. I was kind of like, you know, they're all right. But once it started to get going into like the Avengers, and then you realize like, oh shit, there's these Infinity Stones, there's Thanos, like they are building up to something, is when I started to get invested into it. And then building up to Infinity War and Endgame, when those two movies came out, it was a cultural thing. Like
Yeah.
we will never see something like that happen in movie theaters ever again in our lifetime. I don't think. And after that, I feel like, Spider-Man Far From Home came out right after Endgame, and I feel like that was a good epilogue to that saga, which was, all right, here's where we're at. We're just dealing with the repercussions of it. Who is the next Avengers? Like, who is going to come and help us out? And after that, Marvel really lost its steam because I feel like they were just kind of making these one-off stories and like, oh, here's this hero, there's this guy over here, here's this guy, and it's like there's so many fucking people now. Like I get the confusion, like wait, who's gonna be in the Avengers now? But they it didn't feel like we were building towards anything, like
Yeah.
they had any idea of what they were doing, and I can let that pass for like a year, but we're what? That came out in 2019. We're in
Yeah. For like
2024
5 years.
now, and I have no fucking clue where they're going with it. They just now started to put out Kang the Conqueror last year. They put out Loki and Ant-Man and whatever else had Kang in it. But it's like, well, now with all the Jonathan Majors shit, we're just going to shift gears to some other like what's going on? Where is the structure that you had at the beginning in 2008 when Iron Man came out? Like where is that? Why do I need to care about these characters that are coming out now? So that's the
No.
reason why I don't go, is just cuz there's no fucking point. It's just we're not building towards anything right now. Nothing's happening.
Yeah,
They
and like I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say they're gonna kill off the villain at the end and then waste him like Gore,
Oh,
or someone
That
else's
is
favorite
true.
villain.
Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah, I think that's where my mind was at too. Was like, what's the main thread? Like, even though it was really exciting and like theory crafting and being like, oh man, they're opening up the universe. We're actually doing these multiple universes and all this other shit. That's awesome. But what the fuck is the point? And I remember Secret Wars getting passed around a lot about like, oh, they're gonna kind of move towards that. But there was never really like that main thing that was like, okay, this is saying that this is it. I think the only thing was like that stinger with Nick Fury being on the sword ship, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I can kind of go that route. But what I've said for the longest time about the MCU was like, it felt like once they finished that story, they're like, we have to keep this production or ramp up this production, and then like we're just gonna kind of wing it until we come up with a story. When I feel like they should have just kind of shut down everything and been like, that's it for now. This is the entire, what did they call it? The Infinity Saga or whatever. You guys chew on this for like, a couple of years. We'll come back to you with a new story and we'll set off from there. Like I feel like they should have blueballed the
Yeah,
community for like 3 years or something and have been like, all right, this is what we want to do, and then like da 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 da, we'll go from there.
because how
I mean,
soon did we get
they
a movie after?
so Endgame came out in 2019. Well, these are the movies that came out in 2019: Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home, and then that was at the end. And Black Widow was supposed to come out at the beginning of 2020 along with Shang-Chi, but those all got pushed back because of COVID. So Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home came out in 2021.
They're saying, according to Wikipedia, Far From Home came out July, which was
Yeah, it
like a
was right
couple
Oh,
of,
did
after.
it?
It was right
yeah,
after
after Endgame.
Endgame.
Oh, okay.
That was the end of the Infinity Saga.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember they tried to get Captain Marvel in there really quick just so they'd understand.
Yeah, and like that
They
was just
wanted
such.
her. No, I was gonna say they tried to put her in like Age of Ultron, and they just couldn't because there was already too much happening.
Hmm.
They should have just went for it. I think that would have been perfectly fine because that movie was so chaotic in the first
It
place.
was, yeah. I feel like would have been cool just hitting like a reset button or just saying like
Mhm.
here, like you said, like just chew on this for a little bit. And then coming back 3 years later, I mean, it would have hit definitely because you would have had that like you would have built that. What's the word? Like
Raving.
yeah, you would have built that craving because I remember I think the general like feeling after Endgame for Spider-Man, right? I remember everyone going like, "What the hell?" Like, how are we supposed to process this movie after what we just saw, you know?
Mm.
And I remember people, their main thing was just to go see like what follows pretty much, and then it just didn't hit the same after that. Because you're just like, I just literally just witnessed, like Jeff said, a cultural. I
Phenomenon.
just went through a cultural phenomenon, you know, like whatever people felt during like the first Star Wars, this was like replicated, you know, into this, just like a cultural impact, and then it's just like, oh hey, a couple months later, here's Spider-Man, here's Tom Holland, you know.
Well, I don't think it was supposed to be like a keep that momentum going kind of thing. I like to me it was just like here's the epilogue. Here's where we're at now. This is because I think it didn't start phase 4. It ended
That
No,
phase
was
3,
Black
right?
Widow.
it ended phase 3. Yeah, Far From Home
Okay,
ended
so
phase 3.
then that's the perfect movie to end it because to me it was like that epilogue chapter. It's like here's where we're at after. Like I
But
was saying. So it felt fine to me because I like that. To me, that is the end of the MCU, pretty much. Because everything after, it's just, to me, not that good.
that's fair. Yeah, and I think like that's the weird thing too is like it's such a personal experience going through all these movies because my experience too is like okay, now I'm watching a Spider-Man movie that's still connected to the MCU and all this other
Yeah,
shit just happened. And so, and especially the way they ended Far From Home, it was kind of like, okay, so get ready for the next thing. And it was like Alex has been saying, it's like, okay, you just hit me with this huge bombshell of these like two
yeah.
epic films, and now I've got this, and it's like, and get ready for the next thing. 2 years happen. It was lucky that COVID happened, to be honest, because then I think we would have got those other films sooner. And
Yeah,
then
we
you
would have.
go, papa. I think the fatigue would have been even worse by that point. I think
Yeah.
I still ended up enduring those films though. But sorry, go ahead.
Just looking at the box office numbers for everything,
Mhm.
like definitely those movies that came out in 2021, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and the Eternals, they were definitely affected by COVID because none of them got over 500 million, which hadn't happened since Thor in 2011. Like it
I
was
mean,
the
For
yeah,
lowest
for
numbers.
one?
Yeah, Thor 1.
Oh wow! Even the Dark World got over 500
Yeah,
million.
Dark World got
Christ.
644 million.
I mean,
it was more
it was
Thor.
riding the coattails of Thor.
It
Yeah,
was it
for
was right
But
sure.
after Avengers. It was
That's
yes,
Iron Man
true.
3,
Yeah,
and then it was Thor.
but
yeah.
That's true.
Spider-Man No Way Home at the end of 2021 got a billion 907 million dollars.
Yeah, but that's like an outlier
That
because it just did the multiverse thing of like, all right, here's all the live action Spider-Man.
yeah,
Yeah, there was so many like yeah, there was
So like that was gonna instantly draw people, but it's like you had Black Widow, which was like she had already died, and people wanted her movie sooner, and it's like you're getting it after Avengers when like you don't care that much,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then like because of COVID, there was like limited tickets that they could offer, so like
I
Shang
like that
Chi
movie.
suffered. Which one?
Which one?
I never saw it.
I like Black Widow.
I mean, I
I
liked it,
never
but
saw it.
it was because of Yelena. Like she was the
Yeah,
I
that's
the
thought
true.
I
She's
thought it
good.
was I thought it was like one of the middle of the pack Marvel movies. I don't think it was like shit.
no, I don't
Mm.
think so either.
I had a lot of fun with it because it just felt more what's the word, like more contained.
It was contained because it wasn't like leading to an Infinity Stone.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I think the whole end game thing, it definitely like felt like I had to take like a breather because it was a lot. I don't know if this segues into another like conversation, but like there's only a few projects since Endgame that have hit with me,
Love and Thunder.
and no, and they have uh all three of them are not Marvel coded, in my opinion. I think since Endgame, I think it just shows like everything I've enjoyed post has been different, has gone out of the mold. Like
Mhm.
Shang-Chi, that yeah, the ending gets very anime, and there are parts where it's like heavy CG that's not really that great. There is
Yeah.
like Marvel coded moments, but at its core, Shang-Chi was so fucking cool. It was a breath of fresh air. Like you guys actually let them do choreo, you know, like martial arts choreo for a bit. And then, like I said, Black Widow, like most people, I mean, you're gonna see Scarlo and you're gonna be like, that's absolutely Marvel coded. But like, nah, bro, it felt contained, and I didn't feel like I had to care about anything outside of it. So I was able to just enjoy it. Yeah, there's a lot of there's like the Taskmaster shit that was terrible, but I was just like I enjoyed this. It felt like another like just a simple superhero thing I can just enjoy, you know. And then Guardians, which at this point, James Gunn doesn't feel Marvel. James Gunn doesn't have that Marvel feel to him. So
Got his
like
own unique
he has his own
James
unique
Gunn
taste.
feel.
Like the Guardians movies stand out. They don't feel like Marvel movies.
I think that's why I hated them at first. Honestly.
And so I'm like those three are the ones that stuck out because like I watched the shows. The shows are whatever. They felt a little Disney. Definitely Disney. But like I really enjoyed the first season of Loki because like that felt different. I think seeing Owen Wilson, seeing like actors and then like the lighting and everything in that show, that was stuff I liked. And even though I've only seen the first 2 episodes of the season 2, when I started it, I was like very, very begrudgingly starting it because I was like, I don't want to watch another superhero thing right now. And then as soon as it hit, I'm like, oh, that's right. Tom Hiddleston is amazing.
Mhm.
Owen Wilson's amazing. And like this whole vibe that they have going on, I really like it. It's different. So I just think that kind of comes into a little point of like, I think the Marvel coded stuff is just oversaturated at this point.
I wanna hop right or pick up that point because besides like Shang-Chi, I feel like the problem is that like they're trying to do like phase one again where it's like, all right, here's like new characters you should care about, but I feel like for the most part everyone is just like, yeah, but give me the older characters that I already care about. Like I don't want to have to
Start over.
care about like Shang-Chi, I don't have to care about She-Hulk, I don't have to care about Ms. Marvel. Like just give me more Guardians, more Spider-Man. Like I feel like that's where a lot of the fatigue might come from is just that like it's like we got 4 movies in 2021 and it's like 2 of them were like characters you already cared about, Black Widow and Spider-Man, but then you had like Shang-Chi, which granted it was successful and like it made you care just because of how different it was, but then it's like you had the Eternals where they gave you 9 to 10 characters who like you should care about and like no one really did.
I have a
And
hot take
then
though on that one.
and then in addition to that, they gave us like 4 TV shows where it was like WandaVision, and then you had Loki, and then what else was there? It was like What If, and
Yeah.
then
Was Hawkeye
Moon
that
Knight?
year? No,
I
Moon
think
Knight came out later.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
the one.
Completely forgettable.
yeah, because it's like I mean they have great chemistry, but it's like you think of Falcon Winter Soldier, like you think of Captain America. So I think it's hard
I
when
liked
they're
it.
trying. No, it was good, but I think it's hard when you're trying to get people to like and care about these new characters, but at the same time, people are just kind of like, all right, but like, give me the old stuff too. And so they're trying to find that balance of new characters, but also like telling more stories about the old characters, like in Thor.
But I wanted to pick up a thread that Alex also said earlier too, which is like we're going for like these really big overarching kind of stories where it's like everything you watch is a piece to like a bigger piece that we
Yeah.
still don't really understand yet. So could you fix fatigue by being like, here's a canned story about a hero, and like moving on from that point? But
I mean,
then I feel like it kind of falls back into that weird spiral of it's another origin story, it's another origin story, another origin story. Like I don't know.
I think the only stuff that was really setting up like the Secret Wars multiverse stuff is primarily like Loki and Ant-Man and the
Loki.
Wasp and Multiverse of Madness. I feel like those were very much like this is setting up for Kang stuff, whereas like everything else is like pretty self-contained.
Yeah. Like even
Really?
Spider-Man was kind of in its own bubble. Like it felt different than what I had seen in Loki. And then it felt different again from what I had seen in Doctor Strange. Like each of those three felt like they were going in their own separate route of multiverses, you know? It just didn't
Okay.
feel cohesive between the
Yeah.
three of how this multiverse works. You know what I
It
mean?
just felt like a cop out.
Yeah.
And then I guess it's just I don't know, it's just personal preference. But like for me, like I think I'm finding myself now. I want the opposite of what the Infinity Saga did, which was like a grand scheme. I think I want the opposite of that now because like I said, like Black Widow was contained. I loved it. Shang-Chi was contained. I loved it. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, that's right. They're still going to connect this to something because you see the other characters.
The portal scene.
I actually like Eternals. I think it's the best looking MCU movie, shot wise, like cinema on the screen. I think it's the most beautiful looking one. and it just showed me like you can get good actors. You can get good acting, and it's not corny. I know a lot of people hate on it, but I think it was just because of like whatever it followed or whatever like that. And people
Mm.
didn't care about it. But like the special effects on it, the fighting and stuff, I'm like, why did people hate this? This looks cool.
I think it
Um,
was just because it was like so,
Random. I understand.
yeah,
It
like
sticks out.
Very
detached. Yeah,
Out of left field.
yeah,
It
random
sticks
and
out.
contained. It followed like Shang-Chi, and it was like right before Spider-Man.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I understand it, but like the hate, the levels it gets, like it's nowhere near the bottom. I don't know why people rank it near the bottom. Like as a movie, it's way better than a lot of the first ones. A lot of the first ones, like,
Yeah,
and then if you go back, like I don't watch the early ones anymore. I just can't.
Yeah.
Like it's just too corny for me. Like Iron Man 2 does not hold up. It's not a good movie. Iron Man 3 is a terrible movie.
I love
Yep.
Iron Man too.
Not
Thor
true.
1 is not great. Thor 2 sucks.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, I never watched those in theaters unless like I still haven't seen Thor 2. I still haven't seen Iron Man 3, and
Iron Man.
everything
Yeah,
else I
like it's
saw on
just
Trigger's point
DVD.
don't bother, but
it's just like I think a lot of the hype is what carried those movies and the excitement of what's next. But like if now we're at a point where we can judge the film for the film, right?
Yeah,
And that's why everyone's hating on it. I don't care what anyone's gonna say. Your nostalgia's driving you. But like Thor 1, Thor 2, everyone would kill those. Captain America 1, I know people like that, but like that shit was boring. Like I got mad that I was sitting there and that it wasn't ending. Like that's a bad movie. Winter Soldier's the outlier. That's a really great movie. Um,
Yeah. Okay.
I love the Winter Soldier.
oh my god, you will.
I
I
hated
Um,
all
I
the
agree with
Captain
you,
America
Yul.
movies.
I agree with you, Yul.
Thank
You
you.
know what?
What?
You know what? Honestly, I think I might like Speed Racer when I finally watch it.
oh
Let's
no.
go.
Yeah, right. Like we're just like Doctor Strange 1 is not a good movie.
Hey.
I don't think Doctor Strange has a good
I
movie.
I keep saying that Doctor Strange is better in like like
As a
everything
feature,
He's
everything
better as
else
a teacher.
except his own
He's
movies. Like
Diggle.
yeah.
he's great in like in that little cameo in Thor Ragnarok. He's
True.
great in Spider-Man, but like his own films, like
He doesn't
I
carry.
don't jive for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel
He
like
doesn't
there's
carry.
definitely certain superheroes that do that. Like that's why I don't think that the Fantastic Four has ever worked by themselves because they're better in the to me reading in the comics, they're better off characters that help other superheroes, as opposed to their own certain things. Maybe it's because I just haven't read enough Fantastic Four comics, but I'm kind of worried about this next film that's coming up just cuz I don't know how they're going to pull it off. And yeah, like looking at all these movies that are here in the order that they came out, like I didn't care about the MCU until Guardians of the Galaxy. Like even Avengers Age of Ultron was not great, Like to
It's
me,
not.
Ultron is my guilty pleasure. I will be honest.
It's not
Like,
bad.
it's
it's
not
it's
bad.
not
It is.
terrible. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, all right, I watch that, you know.
Yeah. It's
I
supposed
just
to
I
be
just I
MCU,
just want the
so.
sentiment. I just want the sentiment to be rewritten and just kind of like we used to get heat. We used to
Yeah.
get banger after banger. We weren't getting bangers. Like go back and watch them.
Oh, you're saying that now we're saying the nostalgia goggles are on of like, oh,
Yeah,
it
like
was
take off
good.
your nostalgia
Yeah,
goggles.
yeah.
It was cool because we
That makes
didn't
sense.
know. It was be cool
Yeah.
because it was brand new. It
New.
was fresh. We didn't really know. Like the Guardians, no one really knew who they were, but I
Yeah.
remember like people were invested because it's like, oh my God, what's the new thing? Like not Times. One of the major publications and like even posted it when they first showed the cast photos. Where they're all lined up,
Hmm.
like their mugshot type. I
Yeah,
remember seeing that, like it was a big thing. They're not doing that with any of these other groups.
yeah.
Like that's not making That's not making all these. It's because it still had like all that hype. And then like there's very very few bangers. Like the fact that like it's being like, oh, we all got bangers straight up, banger after banger. No, we didn't. We did not. I actually did not like a lot of the movies. I was just watching to see what was that last. I wanted to see what the after credits was.
So you're
That
saying
was me.
that this after Endgame thing that we're in right now
Now
is
you guys are seeing it.
is what we were getting before. It's just like eventually it's going to get good
No,
and
it's
sort
it's
itself
it's
out.
No,
it's worse. It's worse, but it's not that far off. It's
Okay.
not a fall
Okay.
off.
Okay.
I think what you're saying is that like it was good because it was new, but now that we
Yeah,
know what to expect, it's like this is the same shit you've been served already. It's just now
Mm,
you
yeah.
know what you've already
And it's
seen.
the
It's like
popular it's the popular heroes, right? It's the
Yeah.
popular, so it's easy to tag along. It's like making a Batman, making a Superman. But then once you put, I
Squirrel
don't
Girl.
know, once you put Squirrel Girl, like
Yeah.
if Squirrel Girl came out in during
Right.
that phase 2, 1 before Endgame, people would have cared.
Okay, yeah, I
People
see
were
what you mean.
calling for her. People were calling for her. People were
They
calling for
were.
Anna
Yeah, yeah.
Kendrick,
I
right?
was. I
I
was.
was
I
They
like,
was
were
Team
they were
Squirrel Girl.
almost they were
Wait,
working on a show.
hold up. What? Who?
people wanted Anna Kendrick as
Where was
Squirrel
that?
Girl for the longest time, and I'm like, who
I
They
don't
is
were
know.
working
Yes.
this?
on
Where was
they
that?
were they were working on a show. It was gonna
Yeah,
have
It was
it was gonna
I
have
want to see that.
it was gonna have the girl from
I don't care
I wanna
about
say
that.
one of
Anna Kendrick. Where's she?
well
in
yeah,
Marvel?
but
Let's get her in there.
Just
it's too
like
late now.
that.
I think she shot it down.
Let's
Just
get,
like
let's get
that
her in there.
fucking meme. Just like,
Yeah.
And like, there's gonna be a lot of nostalgia
that.
goggles. There's gonna be a lot of nostalgia goggles in the comments. Like, no, no, dude. Like, what's fueling you is your nostalgia for that's brand new. Right now, it's not brand new anymore. So you're actually viewing the film for what it is. And there is no Thanos. Like, who the fuck was Thanos? I don't know who this guy is, but I'm invested because he was at the after credit scene. What do we have now?
you got an
I know a lot
abuser.
of people. I know a lot of people praise Kang, but like, it didn't do it for me. What did it for me was Jonathan Majors. Kang, the character, did not do it for me.
That's fair. That is
as it
really
is
fair.
as it is, everyone is calling not for Kang, like they want Doom. They
Doom.
want
Yeah, Doom.
Doctor Doom to
Doom
show
as a
up.
character carries.
But
Yeah.
this is the problem, though. You get Doom. You have to have the mutants. You have to have the Fantastic Four. They don't have that piece yet. And
So
this is the
that's-
part that's been, like,
But they're
largely
trying to set it up,
neglected
and everyone's
for
already like,
That's-
"I don't care."
That's
I
part
want
of
it, like,
my
now.
that's part of my third act of this podcast.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So I don't
Well-
know if you guys can keep going about this, but I was gonna use that as the segue.
Let's use
okay.
this as a segue, but we've been talking Marvel since the beginning.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Let's switch on
Oh,
over
that's right. This
to
is
DC.
It's a
Before
superhero.
we go to DC, do we want to know the the top and bottom?
I want
how
to know
many
the
movies?
bottoms.
How
I
many
really wanna
movies
know the bottoms.
total
How
of
many
DC,
movies?
of the DCEU?
Oh,
Yeah.
DC. Okay.
Oh, I thought we were doing Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to know the stats on Marvel
Go for it.
first before we go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
DC?
Yeah, do Marvels.
Okay, so like when I was putting together all this shit, the highest grossing
Endgame.
movie was Endgame, obviously, with 2,788. That's what the
2
number is.
billion. What did you say?
$788,912,285.
We're in a small country.
The
fucking-
lowest was the Marvels with 199,000,000.
we all know.
706.
Marvel's
They're-
wasn't bad.
The recent Marvels?
Yes, the
Yeah.
recent Marvels. It also has the lowest IMDb score of the entire MCU at a 5.6.
I
The
think we got a review
lowest,
bomb.
yeah, that's true. The lowest Rotten Tomato score by critics was Ant-Man 3, and the lowest audience score was 45 for Captain Marvel, but that one also got review bombed, so that makes sense. And the highest reviewed by critics for Rotten Tomatoes was Black Panther, and by IMDb users was
What's the opposite of
Infinity
review
War
bombed?
and Endgame.
That was Black
Glazed.
Panther. Black,
Glazed.
yeah,
That
that
was
shit was glazed.
Safety glazed.
Safety
Yeah,
Glazed?
Black
because
Panther was
that's the thing.
glazed.
That's the thing. Because like, remember, everyone was like, "Oh, I don't want to say anything bad about this because it's about a black superhero." But they got brave around Black Panther 2 because that one got an 83. Oh no, 85.
No. You should not glaze that movie. We should
However, talking about Shang-Chi and Spider-Man No Way Home are the highest rated audience score movies in the MCU with both
Really?
98%.
I
Yeah.
mean, Spider-Man's not surprising. That is like all Hunter was saying, like the nostalgia goggles. Like that's just because it has like the other Spider-Man. Like if it wasn't
Yeah.
for them, like
Well,
No Way
even-
Home, I feel like is the weakest of the three.
I agree.
agree.
I
I
love-
100% agree with that.
I love Spider-Man. I love that they brought them all in, but I really think they fumbled the bag with that one. To be
But what did I
completely
say?
honest
Didn't
with
I say it? Like the more I watched it, the more I started hating it.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I've heard
It's
you
not
say
a
that
great.
before.
It's not a great movie.
It's just
Yeah.
because it's multiverse stuff. It's the
It's-
multiverse.
Yeah.
They brought in live action, but it's also then they're like it's
It's the
overusing
fan
it.
service. It was the fan
Yeah.
service that did. Yeah. I agree
Oh,
with
and that goes back to me wanting the opposite of the big art scheme. I got excited at the end of that movie because I'm like, oh my god, we're getting neighborhood Spider-Man now.
Yeah.
It's
With-
gonna be smaller, his stories.
And I loved how they said, yeah, it's going to be street level with Daredevil. And, I'm like, fuck yeah. Spider-Man, Daredevil, Punisher, like that side of it, I'm down with. This other
Yeah.
shit, I don't care anymore.
Can the aliens like chill
Yeah,
for a little bit and just let petty crime thief
yeah.
like
Oh
criminals
my
come out?
Get your
gosh,
ass beat for
Kingpin
grabbing
Yeah.
versus Spider-Man.
Patty.
I'm all for it, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So all right, so
That's
now
true.
let's switch gears.
So let this what we just did earlier. Let this be your evidence that DC is forgettable. The DCU is so forgettable. You see how we just got charged to talk about the shitty stuff of the MCU? We weren't even glazing it. We were just so charged to talk about the shitty stuff. We totally forgot about DC.
Yeah, honestly, this format was supposed to be we were talking about both of them
Yeah.
simultaneously.
Superhero
They
films.
fumbled
Yeah,
their universe. They fumbled their movies.
Oh,
I would
God, can't
argue
wait
it depends on what DC properties you're talking about, because like while the movies, most of while most of the movies
I
are pretty
know.
bad, the Arrowverse like
well, yeah.
was
I mean,
was a
But
was the
yeah,
But we're
was
talking about the
better of these two.
DCU.
No,
CW.
no, I'm just talking about DC in general.
They fumbled it.
yeah, because like DC in general,
Yes.
I constantly hear that the TV shows that they do and the animated stuff is like top tier. Like I've seen some of the
Yeah.
animated stuff, and that's like, where the fuck are the movies getting their notes from? Like definitely not the animated stuff. Like the Batman animated series, that shit was good.
And it's
From what I remember.
wild because they
Batman,
have way better stories in their arsenal. I'm gonna go on camera and say that DC has better stories.
I will
They're the
counter
first to
that,
do the
though.
multiverse stuff.
I will
DC
counter
has
that though.
Better stories.
I've
They
never
have
liked
better
DC.
stories. No, they have better stories, but they take time to mature. Like
They're
take
contained.
They're not contained. What are you talking about?
Court of Owls. That's contained. That's just Batman.
All right,
Okay,
well,
that's
not talking about Batman, because like
That's
Batman,
DC, bro.
Batman is the best, but like look at any other superhero, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. I think Marvel has
It's-
more.
It's unfair to
personable
pick the
characters.
poster boy of DC and be like, yeah, like he's got some of the
Yeah,
best
like
stuff.
if you take Spider-Man out of Marvel and you take Batman out of DC, it's like, all right, who's winning that battle? But anyways,
Yeah, but you know what's
let's-
crazy? You could do the DCU could literally just do 18 straight Batman movies, and you would have amazing stories to tell.
You'd be eating.
And
vegetables.
whole ass cast of characters. to use.
These
So why don't they just do
numbers-
that? Why don't they just
These
say,
numbers.
fuck the ensemble?
Yes.
Let's just
Um,
do Batman.
Instead, they're making a Penguin TV show.
I am. I want to say when I made this
Well,
list.
there's the Alfred Pennyworth show,
Hey,
or there's
Colin
Gotham
Farrell
where
as
he
Penguin
didn't
was
have
amazing.
Batman.
Yeah, okay. So when I was making this list I made a list of all the box office numbers and reviews and shit.
I love that you just got to that now.
The
You don't know what the fuck we've been talking about.
The Marvel stuff. Yes, I made a list. I even color coded it. You know, the goods and the
Beautiful.
bads. The Marvel stuff was so easy to organize. MCU, Fox, Sony, and it was like there's this offshoot shit. You know that Blade falls under and Punisher falls under. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. That's easy. When you get to the DC, it is so convoluted where shit is and where it starts, because like I wrote the list down of what's in the DC EU or whatever, and then it's
Starts with
like
Man of Steel.
it's like these ones aren't in it though. Okay, so I put those to the side. Well, we forgot to mention these ones. This one's actually technically in the DCEU, but this one's not, and it's like, so my list is all fucked up. So I have old DC, but it goes into the new DC films, and then I have some new DC films that aren't part of the DCEU sprinkled in with this shit that is the DCEU, and then I just have a small section for the Nolan Batman films in the middle.
What the fuck is non DC, like old DC? We're talking like Christopher
Oh, the
Reeves.
old-
Superman?
I'm talking
Old,
about
old.
1978 Superman. I wrote the box
Oh,
office
Jesus.
numbers for those movies and the reviews
Right.
That doesn't,
from
that
those
doesn't
movies
pertain to this.
all the way down. I just,
No.
hey, I just,
the used.
I just
He was
wrote it
ready.
down just in case. I started with Man of
I thought-
Steel.
1978
The
box
fatigue
Hey,
doesn't
hey.
start with until Man of Steel.
The box, right here, this top box, this one here, it starts at Man of Steel in 2013 and ends with Aquaman 2. Okay,
Yeah.
and then like I said, I have the Nolan Batmans in their own box, and then everything before Man of Steel in its own separate box over here, going back to 1978 Superman.
They didn't need to be written down, Jeff.
I wrote them down. I want
They
to be
didn't need to
prepared.
be.
It also filled
think-
up the page nicely because now it's even on both sides.
Very even, yeah,
I
that's
feel
true.
like
It
as
looks great.
superhero
does look
fatigue, we
great.
have to start with
As an
the-
autistic
the
person, I had to fill the
Man of
page.
Steel.
I'm gonna be real with you. Man of Steel. I love that movie.
Can't be in the cut.
Good.
I loved Man of Steel.
It was
I
great.
hated that fucking movie.
I loved it. I watched it
I
in
hate
Spanish in Mexico
Superman.
too, and I was like, I can't wait to watch this in English.
I
It
don't
was
I was
know.
so
excited.
I
cool.
don't
I was
know what
excited
they're
for a
saying,
sequel,
but
and
I
then we had to
can't
wait
wait.
like 3 years.
It made me care about Zod. I was like, wow, this is cool. I don't know what came after that.
I
Do you,
Batman
do you
vs
want
Superman: Dawn of Justice.
do you want me to
He
do
is
the whole
correct.
list for you?
Oh, that's where I just fucking died. Yeah.
Man of Steel in 2013, Batman vs Superman 2016, followed by
Cliff.
Suicide Squad
Cliff.
2016. Wonder
Cliff.
Woman in 2017, followed by Justice League 2017,
Cliff.
Aquaman 2018,
Oh,
Shazam 2019.
The only good one.
See, that's the thing. Joker was in 2019 too, but it's its own
What do you mean
separate
the
thing.
only good one?
Birds
What do
of
you mean? What do I
Prey,
mean? Only good one, Dom.
Birds of Prey
Joker-
2020, Wonder Woman
Is
2
Joker DCU?
2020. No, it's not.
No.
That's why I was
No.
telling you I'm getting confused
Oh, okay.
here. The fucking website.
Don't
I
you
was
remember
using.
they show Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed at the very end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 2 2020,
1984.
Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021, The Suicide Squad 2021,
The only good one.
Black
Hey, Birds of
Adam
Prey.
2022. I did say Birds of Prey. Shazam 2,
Yeah.
Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman, all 2023.
This is a short ass list. I'm like comparing them side by side. To,
Thank
like,
God.
It was a short list.
Marvels. I didn't
Thank
realize.
fucking God. They never got their footing.
It was short because it kept getting flop after flop after flop.
Yes.
That's true.
And
They tried to have their endgame moment after like 2 movies.
They did.
that's the thing. But you want to know what was surprising when
They
I made this
panicked.
list? The highest grossing film of all of them?
Can I guess?
Yes.
I am going to get. I don't know. Wonder Woman. That's
Say-
my guess.
Batman vs Superman.
No. You're both
I'm
wrong.
gonna say Justice League.
You're all wrong.
Really?
Aquaman was the highest grossing film worldwide with 1 billion.
It's all the Cookie Monster wearing middle-aged white women from the Walmart.
when I wrote
they
this
all
down,
went to go watch that.
when I wrote this
My
down,
man.
I
Yeah.
thought of that quote that you said during that.
Yeah, it's all those
'Cause
middle-aged fucking.
It was 1,134,097,163
Cancelable shit right there.
dollars.
Because the trailers made it look fun.
After
Some thick white women
after
DC needed
that
to be
movie,
fun.
the next
with
closest
long
movie
Cookie Monster shorts
was
long
Batman
backs,
versus Superman with 872 million.
no ass, fucking back pockets touch when they walk.
TV dinner eating.
Yeah, TV dinner on their fucking shit.
You said the back pocket stuff.
Back pockets touch when they walk. You know what they smell like? They fucking smell like cat piss.
Yes.
Those are the women that went and rushed. They rushed. They rushed to go see that movie. I mean, hey, good marketing.
They did not rush to see the second one though, because the second one has only grossed 433 million worldwide.
Worldwide?
Yep, so far.
Oh.
With
So what do you mean so far? It's got to be out of theaters by now. That was
Is
December release.
think it's
maybe
still
Is
in
it-
theaters.
it's still there.
Is it really? Oh god.
Yeah,
It's
still in theaters.
34 critics on Rotten Tomatoes with 81% from audience and a 5.7 on IMDb.
That's Aquaman 2 or Aquaman?
Aquaman 2.
What is the most? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
the lowest what?
What's the highest rated film?
Highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes was Wonder Woman with a 93%. For
That's
audience
safety.
score was
Safety
93% with Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. 93% from audience score.
Disgusting.
And the highest for
Aquaman is still in
IMDb was also Zack Snyder's Justice League at a 7.9.
I'll be real with you. The Snyder Cut, I'm a Snyder Cut guy.
Oh, I
I
agree.
enjoyed it.
I agree.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was way better.
I did
I
it
couldn't
all in
agree
one sit through. I started
I
it
couldn't-
expecting it to cut it between 3 or 4 days, and I sat through the whole damn thing. I thought it was way better
Jared
than the
Leto
first
should
one.
never be allowed to do a Joker again. I'm sorry, but like everything else,
Why are you sorry? Fuck him. Jesus Christ.
yeah, you're right. But like everything else of that movie, I'm like, I hate all of the DC movies, and this shit was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you know
agree.
why it was good? It was because Zack Snyder like explained and fleshed out some of the characters, which is what
Yeah.
DC should have done. You know, unfortunately, like tearing a page from like MCU, but like everyone should have had their own movie before uniting. It shouldn't have been.
We should
yeah,
have
we're
had
gonna-
at least,
Two films come
Yeah.
together.
It's like, yeah, we're not going to tease everyone right at the very end of the second film.
yeah, we should have had 2 Supermans. Oh, unfortunately, we had 2 Wonder Womans. We should have had 2 Batmans.
He's not
which
wrong.
before we get to the Justice League part, at least those people need to have their 2 movies, and then I don't know, have like a I don't know
Cyborg?
how you bring in, but like a cyborg solo.
Yeah, I
No,
don't know.
I mean, Solo, no, but they could have done live action Teen Titans, and that would
that
have
would have been
been badass.
wild. That would have been fucking wild.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
after 2 Batman movies, I mean, you're gonna have a Robin by that point. You
That's
know,
true.
so
I just feel like you could visit as the public. I feel like the general public could see the panic,
Yeah.
the panic decisions made by trying to match what the MCU was making. When the smart thing to do is MCU is cooking, they're coming into their big moment. Let's just slowly cook this because they can't carry this momentum realistically.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then when people are like, man, like this would be the perfect time if they went and took their time and made like 2 or 3 movies. We would be eating right now in DC right now because we would be going, damn, look at Marvel. Marvel's down.
well, yeah, well,
And that's
look,
what James Gunn's doing right now.
yeah, because well, he has the first couple of phases planned out already for
This is
DC.
phase 1 done, like at least announced,
But like, looking at the years of, Iron Man was in 2008. By the time the first Avengers came out, it was 2012. 2013 is when Man of Steel came out. Batman vs Superman was 2016, and we didn't get Justice League until 2017. By 2017, we were already looking at Black Panther, Thor 3, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Avengers Infinity War was in 2018. So
Dude,
like,
imagine jumping to Batman vs Superman without having a Batman movie.
well, like even then
Well,
they
I
were going
mean-
so slow before, because before the Man of Steel films, we had the Nolan films,
Yeah.
and the first one was in 2005, the second one was in 2008, and the third one was in 2012. So
Yeah.
they took so much time between those films
To make them.
that like they could have been using that, like they could have seen what Marvel was doing and could have started formulating a plan, but instead it's just like Man of Steel, oh fuck, here's Batman versus, oh fuck, Justice League, fuck,
That's what it
Shazam.
felt like. That's
You
what
know?
it
What's
felt like.
wild to me is that like they still had the opportunity to do that without doing it. Like this is still their IP. I don't know. I don't know what the legality looks like with Nolan's trilogy, but they could have still spun off of that a little bit. I feel like,
Well,
and
yeah,
then
Yeah.
with
'cause
the
they're-
two Spider-Man or Superman versus Batman.
because they're doing that now with with the Joker and with
Right.
with the Batman, with the Robert Pattinson's Batman. They put that
Yeah.
Batman out right after Justice League and Wonder Woman 2, and they still put out more movies for their DCEU after fucking the Batman. So they could have. I mean, they're confusing
They
us
helped-
already with their
By
shit.
that,
It's
yeah,
fine.
by that point they had already established like Joker and the Batman are like Elseworld projects, where it's like they're in their own separate universe type thing.
Yeah, so they could have done that with the Nolan films and just started
Well,
it
but
early.
as it is, the Nolan films are in their own. They're in their own can because like the Nolan films are like very realistic. Like there's no like Mr. Freeze. There's like Bane. Like it didn't have like Venom. Like he just had a respirator, but he was like yoked as hell. Like they were very set in a very realistic and gritty like type of universe. So like they can't jump from like, yeah, here's the Nolan trilogy. Oh my God, there's Batman. Like he's been around, and that's why they had to make their own Batman vs Superman, where it's like, yeah, now in this world of aliens and super abilities, like that's where this Batman is.
And I hope James Gunn like did not carry over anybody from this DCEU team because
Say everybody gets chopped.
the casting director sucked. Whoever's doing casting sucked. They only hit on Henry Cavill. That's it.
No,
Who?
Margot Robbie.
Gal Gadot. I don't like Gal Gadot.
As
but
Harley
I
Quinn?
think
Yeah,
Well,
she's perfect.
She's carried over because she was in the Suicide Squad, and I think
Margot
isn't
Robbie's
everybody-
carried over. You wasted Henry Cavill. Ben Affleck as Batman, I think, just put a nail in their fucking in their
I
movies.
mean, everybody gives him shit, but what did he do wrong? Because he never had screen time.
He looked fucking short and chubby. That's what he did wrong. Okay, get that shit out of here.
To be fair, they had to specifically build his suit to be like,
Oh my god, he was
Old
huge
man
and bulky.
Batman.
Nah, bro,
Yeah.
he looked like a fucking Tonka toy.
yeah, because of the
That's what he
suit.
looked like. Yeah, it didn't work for me. Sorry. No.
It's because they're trying to pull
Christian
from
Bale.
the great story. One of Batman's great stories, The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Christian Bale was perfect. And then I go see Batfleck, this fucking Minecraft looking character.
Yeah,
Hell no.
but then we got Robert Pattinson's Batman.
And then anything he did was CG. Anytime he moved, it had to be CG.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Anytime he fucking did a move, I'm like, why is fucking Batfleck CG right now?
Ben Affleck's not gonna do his own stunts in that way. Are you kidding?
Get another fucking fat person to fucking do some moves. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
But like the thing is, that's the funny thing too, is that like I don't even feel fatigue with the DCEU as opposed to like superheroes. So I guess like even
I just
coming
feel
back to the main
sad.
thread, I just feel sad. Yeah, I can't
Like
even
pity.
yeah.
Like I didn't get to a point of fatigue with you because I wasn't even fucking running, bro. I was just like,
I was just praying for a
Okay.
good movie.
Like you guys were started up on the starting line, and I was already like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, what is this gonna be over?
Yeah.
It's like the middle school band is just getting up on the stage, and I'm like, oh fuck, I
yeah.
gotta get
Jeff
outta
just
here.
walked outside one day and saw me fucking shirtless and like short shorts, waiting to run track, and he was just like, oh,
Yeah,
he's like, poor guy.
where are all the chicks at? What the fuck?
Yeah. Not in front of the hose. Come on, bro.
Not in front
That's-
of the
That's what a DC movie is, but you go in there and you're like, oh, bro, not in front of the hose, man.
You know, when
Because the hose are watching.
what's interesting
Yeah.
though is talking about superhero fatigue though. That's the title of the episode.
What are they
Yeah,
speaking
sorry,
to?
we keep getting fucking.
Like it just hit me now when thinking about James Gunn's restart on the DC universe and Peter Safran. We don't talk about him much. I'm not as fatigued as I think. Like I don't care about DC, but I'm really curious to see how this starts off and how
Because
they get the ball rolling on that. So I think I'll go see the first couple films in theaters maybe. I know it starts with Superman. I'm not a Superman guy. I fucking hate Superman.
same.
But I think I'll go check it out, to be honest, just to see how it starts.
But see, is that a cinematic, like, cinemaphile angle that you're coming of, like, how do you tell this story? Or is this like, I'm going for the heroes?
I'm just
No, I'm going
curious.
for Gunn.
Yeah, pretty much, because I know he can handle a story with the three fucking Guardians
Guardians.
films.
Mhm.
And yeah, he had a lot of extra characters. Like people are giving him shit right now because Superman Legacy has a shitload of other superheroes and stuff.
They have like an already established Justice, I think, society or league, but it's like, yeah, they have Hawkgirl, they have Guy Gardner as Green Lantern, and then I
Oh,
forgot,
wow.
there's like one more like big DC hero that is in
Isn't
the
Guy
film.
Gardner the gay one?
What?
Who's the
No.
gay lantern?
I thought that was.
I don't know. He's the one who turns into a Red Lantern at one point.
Yeah. Isn't he Asian?
No,
No,
So
he's,
that
from,
one-
he's actually from
Deadpool.
Baltimore, to believe it or not, Guy Gardner.
Well, people are giving
No, I'm
Alan's-
talking about the gay one.
I
That's
don't know
Alan
what-
Scott, apparently.
I think he was Asian and gay.
Oh, the Golden Age Green Lantern?
Yeah.
He's not Asian. He's a white dude.
He's a white
No,
dude
no.
with blonde hair, but he's gay.
Who's
as
the
fuck.
Asian?
Well, he's making out with the Asian in this picture. Gaytimes.co UK.
I just remember someone being mad.
Okay. Anyways, people are pissed that James Gunn has all these important characters in this, but like Guardians
can.
had
He can
all
do it.
these extra characters too, and it didn't take away from the important stuff, which was the Guardians.
But to be fair, they weren't like big.
That's
big,
true.
Like Marvel heroes that he had. Like he had Cosmo the dog, and then he introduced like
He made
Adam
Yondu
Warlock,
likable.
and he had,
Yondu,
yeah.
The
like,
old Guardians.
For like DC fans, like having like Hawkgirl, and then having like a Green Lantern that's not Ryan Reynolds, Hal Jordan, like in a Superman film, like that's why they're pissed. Like, why are you putting these like big players? Because like anyone growing up watching the Justice League cartoon, it's like you're putting Hawkgirl in the Superman. Like what?
Okay, but see, like,
Sorry
I
about
feel
it.
like that's a DC. I feel like that's a comic book reader looking outside, and like to me, I never knew Hawkgirl was a big deal. She doesn't sound like a big deal. I never knew that.
He looks cool though.
She does look cool.
I think I'm.
Go ahead.
No, I don't mean to bag on Zack Snyder's DCEU, but like I'm excited just because like we haven't really
Experience
had
it.
like too many good
Cohesiveness.
DC films with cohesiveness. Like right out the gate, like yeah, like they have those several Justice League heroes, but it's like we got our Clark, we got our Lois, we got a new Lex Luthor. You got a Jimmy Olsen. Like,
A new Lex Luthor's that's not Jesse Eisenberg. That's a great start. That's a
Yes.
great fucking start.
Yes. I don't want Jesse Eisenberg as fucking Lex Luthor.
oh, the other hero is Mr. Terrific.
I forgot about that.
I don't know who that
He's
is.
in it, and then they have Supergirl too, apparently.
Wait, these are
Wait.
the ones you named are all in the movie?
Yes.
Yeah, Sky Gardner, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific. This is why they're pissed.
Oh, and Supergirl.
Fuck it.
Supergirl's in it. She's they cast her like 2 weeks ago. It's the chick from House of Dragons.
Oh yeah,
Millie,
I saw that.
Millie, what's her name?
Damn, I really feel for Home Chicken, the Flash, because she just did that and she's done.
She looked cool.
She did look cool.
I agree.
Still like the best part of the Flash.
Too
but-
bad she was in a movie with 2 Ezras.
Yeah, well, that'll do it.
It's worse than one.
That'll
Yeah,
taint
this
your fucking
just-
career. Well, I mean, technically it was only one because he didn't. The other one was CG.
Right.
So I think this is like a perfect segue into basically the third act of this, which is like we're excited. We basically just openly stated we're gonna consume the Gunverse after we just said we're tired of like superhero shit.
You guys said you would.
I mean,
Okay, majority of people are
Yeah.
very very excited for the Gunverse, and like it just I think we should just kind of dive into like why, because obviously there is a need, there is a want for more superhero shit, because the Gunverse is literally making everyone wet, and I'm super excited for this.
the Gunverse is making people wet. Deadpool versus Wolverine is getting
Yeah.
people excited. And then on Valentine's Day, they announced like the cast for Fantastic Four. I don't think we've talked about it, but like
No, we
that
haven't.
roster alone, like I'm already in.
So it's like
Pedro Pascal really casted?
Yeah, they cast
Yes.
Reed, Sue, Johnny, and
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So is it like are we really fatigued about superheroes, or is it Marvel coded that we're tired of the Marvel coded formula?
That's a really good fucking question.
Yeah.
I think
Because-
honestly,
yeah.
No, I think
Go for
honestly, it's the Marvel mold that I'm kind of sick of.
Yeah.
I think that there are still really good stories, and I think what's been so frustrating as a superhero fan is like the X-Men have been done dirty. Like we said, X2 was the last good X-Men movie we got.
No.
And it's
Hey,
No.
I'll make an argument for Days of Future Past.
Days of
they
Future
just cast
good, bro.
Logan, they're fine, but I mean, like they're not.
no, they're great. Days of
They're
Future
great.
Past is the best
No,
X-Men
it's not
film.
the best
Yes, it
X-Men.
is.
No, I don't.
Yes, it
agree.
is.
I don't agree.
The
with that.
reviews don't lie.
I would say.
What did
I
they
say.
say?
Drop the numbers.
Drop the
Days of Future
X-
Past,
Yeah, between
Was
that and
a-
X2.
90% with audience. Hold on, 90% with critics, 91% with audience, and a 7.9 on IMDb for Days of Future Past. X2 was an 85 critic score, 85 audience score, and a 7.4 IMDb.
What were the box office numbers?
Box office numbers for X-Men 2 was 406 million against Days of Future Past, which was 747 million.
Jesus Christ! All right,
Almost double.
Almost double.
Is that adjusted for inflation though?
I don't know. I just wrote down the words that the internet gave me. It all came from the same website, so I'd assume. I didn't think
We're
that.
throwing
but-
out fake
hey man,
numbers,
I fucking wrote all this down. It took me all day because I was also watching my 2-year-old.
I'm-
Okay.
I'm just saying that, Jeff, because I know someone in the comments would be like, "But did they adjust X2?"
Well, then they can look it up and they can put it in the comments, and then you know what I'll say? I'll say, well, too bad it's not in the video.
I'll find the numbers. Hang on.
No, but
Yeah, your numbers are gonna be skewed.
Oh look, it got 2 billion. Holy shit!
Oh, outside Avatar
I was
numbers.
like, what?
That's an Avengers level threat right there.
But yeah, like I just think majority of people, and I mean, and like good on the MCU. When people say superhero fatigue, like we're all thinking MCU movies.
That's true. That
So
is very
they've
true.
dominated this area, this superhero area. Like
I mean, yeah,
DCU, I don't think you say superhero fatigue. I just think you're like, I'm fucking Ezra fatigued, and I'm fucking.
I'm tired of bad movies.
I don't care of any of these movies anymore. Now that James Gunn has said he's in this, so I just feel like that's that. But like when people say superhero fatigue, they're always talking about all the MCU shows, all the MCU movies. I think we're just MCU fatigued.
as
at
it
this
is,
point.
they were always the punching bag because like I think mostly phase like 1 and 2, like the final battle was just an evil version of the protagonist. Like that was always the joke. It's just like, oh my god, Black Panther is just another Black Panther he's fighting. Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket, like just another shrinking person. Even in Iron Man 1, it's just like a bigger Iron Man.
That's
So
true.
like
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Because it's like,
like,
what are people excited about? They're excited about the Gunverse, which
X-Men.
isn't MCU. They're excited about Deadpool because Deadpool was not MCU.
Yeah.
Now he is, but people are excited because like, oh, this guy, this rebel is coming in, it's gonna shake shit up. We don't know. It could be another Marvel coded. We don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well, like I would
I don't
even
know.
be interested to see Secret Wars, but like after, like I said, when they fumbled No Way Home, because I personally think they did.
Yeah.
I'm not excited for Secret Wars anymore. When they first announced it, I was like, holy shit, like that's crazy. But it's like, man, I don't know. For me, I think it's just a sense of direction that I want,
Mm.
and I'm going to say something pretty controversial here for some people.
Less women.
But no, no, I don't think DC ever had that. It never had that at
That's not
all.
controversial.
It's
No.
Never had
controversial
what?
to some people.
Never had
Really?
what?
Direction. Oh, hey, have you seen our
Oh,
comments?
I
I'm just
mean,
gonna say,
I don't give a shit. They couldn't find their fucking way if they were getting dragged around by a goddamn blind hooker.
I'm
Like,
gonna
what the
say I was
fuck?
never a fan of DC films. I liked the Suicide Squad. I liked some of the older stuff, pre DCU universe shit. But like direction was had before, in the early MCU days up till, like I said, Endgame Far From Home was the finisher of that. There's no direction sent after that of where they're going.
Yeah.
And even when they start to get it, like with the Jonathan Major shit, it's like, oh, well, we got to go somewhere different now. But I think
he's
that's
in jail.
where I want it to go is like, hey, give me a point to the MCU right now. I want some good story writing. I don't want to have a million characters shoved down my throat. I just want a little bit of like take it back to basics, simplicity. And then with the DC, we have a fresh start now with someone who has proven themselves as a good, competent person who can write good stories and is a fan of the comics and can do those comics justice while also putting their own creative spin on it and making it feel fresh. Because the Guardians, I don't think like there was much of them in the comics in terms of like
I
crazy
didn't know any.
storylines.
well,
Like
as it is, there was the different iterations of the Guardians, but like the current, Rocket, Groot, Gamora, like yeah, they weren't really prevalent or like having their own comic series for like a while until the movie. I think their last big thing was like this crossover event called like Annihilation Conquest, and
Mm.
like that was like before 2010.
yeah,
Oh wow.
and I mean we saw with the Suicide Squad and even the little bit of Peacemaker. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Peacemaker show, but it still was pretty competent of what they were doing. I think direction is just what I want, and I think that's
Well,
how they can fix it. And I feel DC might be able to have that, where Marvel, it's going to take
Okay.
a lot for Marvel to get
well,
back.
this is where I have a hot take. Maybe not. I don't know. I think we are about to enter. I don't want to say renaissance, but I just think the second wind,
Resurgence?
the
Second
resurgence
one.
of superhero movies, because for both sides. DC,
Really?
we already touched upon DC, the Gunverse. I'm
Mm.
just strictly talking about potential. This man has laid out cohesiveness. We just said DC's never had that. He just laid out his fucking
You hit all
30,
of phase
40,
one.
50-year plan, right? He's just like, yeah, I have a plan. All the writers are working on this, and we've seen what he's done. Okay, so I feel like he's gonna alleviate that superhero fatigue. But now on with the MCU side, I feel like we're coming to an end, because of just what we're seeing from the higher ups saying, you know what, I think we do need to slow down. Okay, not too much to get excited about, right? But it's just like, okay, that's something I do want to hear. But now the main thing, and I think this is what's going to cure a lot of the MCU, unless they fumble it, which the same thing can be said for Gun, unless you fumble it. But on paper, you have the Fantastic Four coming up with Doom. So now put Doom as your big guy. Doom as a character alone pulls. It's a mainstream villain.
Yeah.
Thanos is not a mainstream villain to casuals, right? I
I'd say
just knew
now he is.
Thanos. Now he is, but when they first announced it, I'm like, Thanos, who's this? And Dominic's like, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You remember that character? I'm like, okay. Everyone knows Doom. MF Doom had made his own persona off of it. Right, right? Like, Doom is a character. But what comes behind the fucking Fantastic Four? The whole fucking X-Men, dude.
Yeah.
You have a gold mine. You can get into the mutants now.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
you, unless they, like I said, unless they fumble up and they say here's Wolverine, but
You get
He's-
nothing else.
He's Jesse Eisenberg.
He's Indian. We casted an Indian actor, and they don't fucking speak English, right? Like then I think that's the only way you fucking fumble it, right? Like if you just like cast like fucking Hassan
Chris Pratt.
Minaj
What
as
if?
fucking.
What if? Hold on. What if Dev Patel was Wolverine?
Oh! Make it happen. Make it fucking happen.
You just
Oh
fucking
my
ate your words.
God.
You just fucking flipped. Hold on. All I had to say was Dev
The
Patel.
woke mafia. Fuck all the incels. Oh my god. Fuck all the right wings. Dev Patel as Wolverine.
That'd be hot.
Hey, we turned it around. We got it.
Or
Turn it around.
Can we talk spoilers here? Does anybody?
yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Does anybody?
We're not gonna watch the Marvels.
Okay, yeah. Alex, do you care about the Marvels?
Do I care about women? I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Just kidding.
At the end of the Marvels, and I just saw the clip like 2 days ago. I didn't know anything about it. The movie's been out since December,
I think I've seen it.
but it's like
Dominic
no
about
one
it.
spoiled it. I just saw it yesterday, and it's been out on Disney Plus for like 3 weeks now. And I'm like, okay, well, at the end, Beast shows up, and they're in
Yeah.
they're in the old
Yeah,
X-Men mansion with
it's-
the X door and everything.
Because
Shit.
Spectrum, the plot point of the Marvels was like the warp points introduced in Guardians 2 of how they
Okay.
like hop around the universe. They were broken and like tying into like Kang and Secret Wars, like universes were colliding. They talked about like incursions in Multiverse of Madness where planets, universes were colliding.
Okay.
Same thing happened. Spectrum used Kamala Khan's gauntlets and like sealed the tear that was in the main universe, and then she ended up in another reality, which was, I don't think it was the old Beast or the old X-Men. I think it's a different, separate X-Men universe because the
But
Beast, he's reprised by Kelsey Grammer, but he
Yeah.
looks completely different. He looks like the '90s Beast.
Oh, okay.
And then the woman who plays her mother was like a different version of her mother. So it's like
Okay.
they're definitely heavily relying on like multiverse stuff, but
I don't like that, but okay. I
I
want
mean-
like a fresh, ground up X-Men universe.
You're not.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not getting it.
Well, I think that's how they're
They
gonna
have
get
They
it.
have
Is
to if they want
is-
money.
I
They're
think
not, no, they're
I
going
think what's gonna happen is that all these multiverses are gonna collide, and then it's just gonna be like, oh, we have X-Men now, and
That's
then
how
they can start.
I want
exploring
new
it.
actors. I
That's-
want new actors. I want like
That's
give us your own.
They tried. They tried with New Mutants. They tried with First Class, and it just kept flopping.
No,
Not
but this is
because
no. I'm talking about MCU. Like MCU, I think.
We're not gonna get it.
I think we
so-
will post Secret Wars because in the recent Secret Wars, what happened was like realities collided. Dr.Doom like got the power and was just like, you're all like in this one same world, like of
What?
different realities. Kind of. Well, he kept them separate, but like, and so I think that's what would happen is like after
Apartheid.
Secret Wars, like it's just like realities rewritten, and like now we have mutants. But it's like it's like X-Men First Class, where it's like the first few of Charles Xavier's mutants.
I would be okay if these next after credits are setting up the X-Men
It won't.
or the
Well,
mutants. the
they've
mutant
been
verse.
setting up X-Men.
Since
No,
the
but like
Eternals,
now like a dedicated like
Not, it was speculated for Eternals, but it was like mainly Doctor Strange, Ms. Marvel, now the Marvels. Those have heavily pushed mutant stuff.
Yeah, but the reason that they were like kind of hinting at it was a rights issue too, because that was still under Fox property
Yeah.
before they
No.
bought them. Yeah, it was. It had to have been.
Not
No,
for
well,
Or
Eternals
Ms.
didn't
Marvel.
really. Eternals was speculated to tease mutants, but they didn't really do anything. Multiverse of Madness, I think, was like at the cusp of them
Well, that was-
acquiring it. I mean, they had Charles Xavier, and then like Ms. Marvel. That's post like Fox acquisition. And,
Well, I
like, she
remember it was
said,
like a big thing when they said the
mutants.
word mutants.
that was, yeah.
yeah, because they
Kamala
had the
Khan was
little
an
electric
Inhuman,
guitar.
And she's like, I don't think you're her friend was like, I don't think you're inhuman. It's like something mutated or whatever. And then it
And then it was
plays
like,
the 90s.
Oh wow.
Shut up.
All I'm saying is, if it goes well, we could finally be where both MC and DC are just throwing bangers at us. I could see the resurgence where we care again, but I think it's just gonna take going through this lull moment of like trying to figure out what they want to fucking do with this multiverse shit, get through it, whatever, and then James Gunn kind of ramping up. But then once his starts ramping up, I think we'll start getting the sprinkles of the competition of the MCU saying, "Hey, we're coming back. Look at we have this whole fucking marketable superhero group coming in. Maybe young actors, maybe I don't know. Timothy Chalamet coming in.
No,
Well,
I don't want him in anything.
Jeremy
Imagine-
Allen White.
Imagine,
Get him in there somehow.
imagine they do Timothy Chalamet as the new Wolverine. Fucking
No.
stick figure man.
No.
I'm so mad.
Yeah, I kind of want to piggyback off that. I think actually this whole conversation kind of put it into perspective. I am tired of just the Marvel rigmarole. I think that we've gotten the same thing for the last decade and a half now, and it's like I want something fresh and new. And I think somebody strapping on a cape or even an origin story, because like fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is kind of superhero comic book in that world. I watched that last year and I was like, oh fuck, this is great. This is a great story. I think you just kind of need that, not just that direction, but just like give me good fucking stories. I feel like what we're getting is this is a huge debate, but like I feel like we're getting content. It's kind of like, oh, this is meeting a quota. Here's a superhero show. Here's a superhero movie. Happy? All right. Here's the next thing, and ingest this too. And I think I'm tired of that treatment when it comes to a movie, especially. But for something like this, that should be kind of passionate. Like I said, I'm dying for a good X-Men movie. That would be peak. I guess it is kind of like not so much an issue with the genre. It's an issue with how it's being treated.
I just think throw away the whole Kang Dynasty shit you want to do.
Yeah.
Doom is so marketable.
Yeah.
But like, please care, because the MCU shit worked for them. At one point, it worked, right? This is why we're here.
Yeah.
And I think they lost their way. I just think a good like representation is Taika. Taika hit gold. That shit worked. Taika said, "I'm that guy," and went too far. I think MCU is in that too far.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, stop, reel it back, give us cool stories. Because even when you watch the older movies, way different. It's like a different feel.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit more drama. There's some acting, and it doesn't feel like a Disney TV show with a high budget.
Well,
you said this so many times in reacts or reviews too, Alex. It's like you didn't need to act that hard. This is an MCU film. Reel it back.
Yeah. Angela Bassett, bro.
Yeah,
What are you
exactly.
doing?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's why they killed her off. They're like, nah.
We can't afford you.
Yeah, no. That was really good. Hey, someone kill her, please.
I'm sorry, Jeff. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, I feel like the tone really switched with the first Guardians.
Yes.
Where it's like they started adding a lot more comedy and stuff like that. But then it just
blew out of control.
Yeah, it wasn't the right kind of comedy. And then it just started becoming what it is today. You know what I mean?
Well, what saved Thor?
Well, it was comedy, yeah.
Yeah.
With Ragnarok.
And then what killed Thor?
Was the comedy, yeah. It's just that battle. You got to find the right in between to make it, relatable, realistic, and dramatic, and you'll be fine.
But I mean, like, especially with the way that comic books are written, you can kind of take the whole gambit. It just kind of depends on like the story that you want to tell.
Gambit?
X-Men?
Gambit! Play the guitar. Right?
Yeah, just as soon as Yul says Gambit.
Go through the entire podcast, and whenever we say a word that relates to an X-Men character, just put the guitar. Pull a Miss Marvel.
Put a trench coat on Yul and just put the glasses.
Hey, now throw it and stick it into the wall.
Oh, I hit the camera. Holy shit.
All right, you heard it here. Cast Yule as Gambit. Fuck Channing Tatum. Get that shit out of here.
That's
Black trans woman as Gambit. Let's
Oh my
go.
god, can you imagine the
That'll
fucking
make
comments
so
Yul's
many
gonna get?
people happy.
So many-
Fucking gender bent Gambit. Oh my god. One, you race swapped and gender bent Gambit. Holy shit! There are gonna be some random Gambit fans that you've never heard of, and they're just gonna come out in the waves. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's where I think that's where we're pretty much at with this. Where it's there's a craving for it. It's always gonna be there, but I just think Disney has the Disney formula. I think is what people are tired of.
I really feel this conversation was really constructive because
Yeah.
before we talked about this, yeah, all superheroes. Everything was fatigued to me. I just didn't like anything. But talking about it now, it's like, oh yeah, I do have some optimism in places. Marvel's just, kind of lost its way for right now, but DC always sucked, so it's not really fatigue there. But it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I think it was a constructive conversation. I honestly don't know how I'm going to cut out some of this. I don't know if there's going to be much editing at all. I might just post it as is. Well, guys, thanks for sticking around through this entire talk. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know how much I'm going to edit out of it, but like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts. What's going to get you over superhero fatigue? Are you fatigued at all? Do you like our thoughts? Do you think it's constructive? Are you going to hate us? Are you going
I
to
feel like you
be...
didn't shit on anybody.
well, I mean,
It's
that won't stop
DCU.
anybody before.
That's true.
That hasn't stopped anybody. So
You're just coping. If you fucking
well, there's the
What-
comments now.
What's,
I hear them
what's your
coming. I
dumb,
hear the...
funny movie? Ooh. They're like typing like Jim Carrey in that one movie.
Yeah,
What the fuck was the movie?
they're typing like the
Like the
writers
Kermit
at
one.
DC should have. Anyways, so hit that bell notification so you get notified of more podcasts that we do. We're gonna try to put out one a month this year. We'll see how long that goes. And Mondays and Wednesdays are trailer reacts. So,
Oh, it would be a really cool movie
I swear to God.
if A24 did a John Constantine movie.
who'd be
Oh.
really good at Wolverine? Mila Jovovich.
Just-